In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating and, let's be honest, misunderstood creatures on the entire planet, the sloth. Now, they're famous for being slow, right? But what if that slowness is actually a superpower? What if everything you thought you knew about this creature was just the beginning of the story? Okay, let's dive into this. We usually think of speed and strength as the keys to making it in the wild, but the sloth? It just flips that whole idea on its head. Its entire existence is built around this incredibly low energy lifestyle, and as you're about to see, that's not a flaw, it's actually their greatest advantage. So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll cover the absolute basics in Sloth 101. Then, we'll pinpoint exactly where they live on a world map. After that, we'll explore their unique life cycle, see how they survive against predators, and then we'll finish out with 5 facts that will honestly blow your mind. So let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is a sloth? Well, for starters, they're medium-sized mammals that live pretty much their entire lives up in the trees. And their family tree is pretty wild. Their closest living relatives aren't monkeys or anything like that, but actually anteaters and armadillos. Yeah, they're all part of the same group called Pilosa. Now, sloths basically come in 2 main types, two-toed and three-toed. Here's a little fun fact that trips people up. That two-toed name only applies to their frontlobes, their fingers. All sloths, every single one, has 3 toes on their back feet. Their diet is mostly leaves, which give them very little energy, and this is the real secret to their slowness. They have a 4-part stomach that can take a whole month, 30 days, to digest just one meal. They have to conserve every little bit of power. Okay, so now let's figure out exactly where in the world these incredible animals call home. You're not going to find sloths in Africa or Asia. Nope. Their world is exclusively the lush tropical rainforests of Central and South America. That's where they have everything they need to just hang out in the canopy. And their population is really concentrated. I mean, just look at this. Out of the 6 species of sloths in the entire world, 5 of them can be found in Brazil. That basically makes it the sloth capital of the planet. Venezuela, Colombia, and Peru are also huge hotspots, each with multiple species. So now we know what they are and where they live, but how do they live? Let's get into their life cycle. How well a sloth lives is surprisingly tough to answer. In the world, it's a bit of a mystery. They're just so hard to track that no scientist has ever followed one for its entire life. The best guess is somewhere around 10 to 16 years, but in the safety of a zoo, that number just skyrockets to 40 or even 50 years. And true to form, making a new sloth is a slow, deliberate process. When a female is ready, she lets out this super loud scream to let any males in the area know. After a really long pregnancy, we're talking anywhere from 6 to almost 12 months, she gives birth to just one baby, often whining completely upside down. The little one is born with its eyes open and its claws ready, and it immediately just claims to its mom's fur. Life in the rainforest isn't exactly a walk in the park, even if you do spend it upside down. So how on earth do sloths manage to survive? Well, first off, they don't have a pack or a group to protect them. Sloths are total loners. Once a baby leaves its mom after about a year, it spends the rest of its life by itself. So there's no group, no leader, no chief, just a solitary life up in the trees. Their main enemies are predators with really good eyesight, like jaguars on the ground and these massive harpy eagles from the sky, plus snakes. So how does the world's slowest mammal defend itself? By not being seen at all. Their secret weapon is their fur. It actually grows algae and turns a greenish color, making them practically invisible against the leafy canopy. Their slowness becomes their shield. All right, we've covered the essentials, now for the really fun part. I've got 5 unbelievable facts that show just how their slowness is part of a much bigger and, frankly, much weirder survival kit. First up, for all their slowness, a sloth is, pound for pound, 3 times stronger than a human. Seriously, their muscles are basically designed for one thing, hanging on. They are the undisputed pull-up champions of the world. And that strength really pays off because, get this, a sloth will fall out of a tree about once a week on average. But their bodies are literally built to survive falling from as high as 100 feet without getting hurt. It's just incredible. Now, this brings us to their famous bathroom routine. A sloth only comes down to the dangerous forest floor about once a week, and in that one trip, it can lose up to a third of its entire body weight. It's a huge risk, but scientists think it's also how they communicate with other sloths through scent. And while they're pretty clumsy on land, they have a surprising escape plan. Sloths are fantastic swimmers. It can actually move through water about 3 times faster than they can crawl on the ground, using those long arms to paddle like a pro. And for our final fact, this one really ties it all together. Sloths have a super rare eye condition that means they're totally colorblind and can't really see at all in bright daylight. So their slow, careful movements aren't just about saving energy. They literally can't see well enough to move fast. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that everything about the sloth, from its slow digestion to its poor eyesight, is part of this masterclass in saving energy. Their slowness isn't a weakness, it's a highly successful, finely tuned survival strategy that's worked for millions of years. Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.